it gives me goosebumps actually when I talk about this. So this is 1,000% so many people's career.
Yeah.
And I think that we should be elevating it and treating it as such, because I can't think of a more necessary piece of our healthcare system than the direct care workers that build the foundation.
That's
because
correct.
without a strong foundation, everything crumbles above. I don't care if we have the best doctors in the world if we don't have the people doing the direct care who feel competent, appreciated, reimbursed appropriately. Who's staying in that incredibly emotionally taxing career?
Yeah.
That's why it gets treated like a job.
Yep.
And that's why people move out of it, because we don't provide them the pay and the benefits that reflect the incredibly complex and important work they're doing.
Yep.
And so that's part of our goal, is let's professionalize this with certification. Let's say you are certified to do this. You have proven your competency for this.
Do you ever think in the future, so there's self-directed databases are becoming a little more popular because we have fiscal agents, we have CDCP. I personally created one myself, but do you think everyone can come together and just have one place in the future instead of having to be like, I have a database,
Yes.
I have a database.
And they're all coveted.
Yeah.
They're all coveted.
Let's put them all together and have one place that if you're in self-direction, everybody's part of. But then I hear a lot of, well, who's going to manage it? Who's going to oversee it? Because when you're talking about databases, they're already outdated before yesterday because, oh, I already got a job. Why are you contacting me? Or it sounds like a great idea that I want the employer to come to me until 50 people call you, right?
Absolutely.
So,
it's overwhelming.
Yeah, I'm constantly looking at, all right, what is the best way to structure this? How to keep people, how to not bother our caregivers who don't want to be bothered and things like that. So that this is a personal interest for me because my mind's just unraveling. But yeah, I love it when people are like, oh yeah, we have a database full of caregivers. Great. You want to share that?
Yeah.
You want to share that with the class because everybody can benefit. Yeah.
The scarcity mindset needs to go away, right?
Yes.
While it's not untrue that we do have scarce resources and we are trying to spread them across, but if we were to stop spreading them, just like you're saying, and we were starting to combine them, suddenly it's not such a scarce resource, right? We might have enough resources. We just need to put them in the right places. So my ultimate goal is that we have the CDCP training be the required kind of universal training for all HCBS settings so that people don't have to retake CBRF classes because they moved from an RCAC to a CBRF. And it's like, sorry, you're not fully trained. Even though you did 30 hours of training and you're certified here, you have to do these 4 other courses. So ultimately, as we are in conversation with DHS and DQA has been a tremendous partner.
Amazing.
That is our ultimate goal. And with that would come the ability for, if it's all a standardized training across all settings, why wouldn't we then also manage the universal place for job matching?
Yes.
And I have a lot of ideas, much like you. Like, I want it to be simple. I want it to be easily managed from an IT perspective so that if things do go, I just don't think it needs to be super fancy.
No.
Things like AI and technological advances.
Nope.
We should leverage the places where that takes away unnecessary administrative work, but I don't think it has to be hard.
No.
And there are things you can put into place where, if you don't want to receive this email, just click this button. So that's an automation so that we're not continuing to send. You create those kind of flows I've done a lot of work in our customer relationship management system, Salesforce, on flows of the customer experience, which is what a caregiver would be in this. They'd be a customer receiving a product, right? They'd be receiving an offer for a job. So there are a lot of things you can do already. So I can't imagine what will be available when we are at a place where we can start to combine. But I really think conversations like this are important to say, hey, we have so many resources, one, that have the same end goal,
right? Yes.
And the same end target population to serve. why are we not sharing them?
Yes.
I think that I continue to have conversations like this to try to break down that scarcity mindset. But I also understand after, 15, almost 20 years in social work that in Wisconsin, that it's a very real thing. And we do have limited resources. So we have to be mindful because people need their staff and they need all of those things. And if you give some of that up, one, it can be really hard to get back because you can't justify why you need that funding. It's so common for nonprofits and for, even public entities to not want to give up positions simply because you can, what if you need it later? You're not getting it back. There's not going to be a justification. And it's hard to quantify the impact that we have in this age, in this field, right? There are numbers, but they aren't as bountiful as stories.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
And people that make decisions want numbers, not stories.
Yes.
Until
Unless
they are holding public hearings to close down ADRCs a long time ago. And then there was like, hey, listen to our stories. And that worked, and it does work. And that's what I think is so hard because it can feel like it doesn't matter, but the three of us can talk about it till we're blue in the face with people that make decisions. And unless the person who is directly impacted by not having a reliable caregiver tells their story. And again, that's also a big ask of somebody who doesn't have care to say, hey, can you also call your assembly person and tell them that this is really bad? And it's a necessary part of the change.
Yeah.
It puts that burden, and the burden shouldn't be on, we should just believe everybody that talks about it. That's just not how, unfortunately, it works. And so I'm so grateful for those voices that have the bandwidth in that space, who are receiving care, who feel like they can discuss it with the people that make decisions. But I think these conversations among entities like ours and yours are really important to kind of build relationships, bridge gaps, and come together, because there's no reason it shouldn't be a collective effort. It should be a statewide effort.
Yeah.
That's just what it should be.
I agree.
100%. And that's how things evolve. That's how things change. Instead of, it's not a we, it's not me, it's we. We have to work together and make this industry stronger. Because I've always said, yes, I think there's a lack of connection with caregivers and members. They don't know this world exists. And that's part of the reason we started this, is for self-awareness and to spread that awareness around self-direction and like, hey, there is a different life of caregiving out here. And a lot of people, they get into it by default of a family member needed care. Oh, I can get paid for this? Okay. But then we're also going to scrutinize, are you a natural support? Is there fraud around this? So I get it. I get it from both sides.
Over here
of
rolling
it.
my eyes.
I know. I feel like it's one of them TikToks where I need a piece of paper to hold over her face sometimes of a smiley face.
No, I mean,
it's so
your
annoying.
face is reflecting my internal monologue.
Oh, good.
So I feel like that's fine.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I mean, I will get on the soapbox with you. I totally agree. It's not an us and them. Like you said, it's not a me versus it's we.
Yep.
It is all of us. It will impact every single one of us. And, the reality is we don't have as much time as we think to correct it.
No.
We just don't. It is a catastrophic crisis. And until you are a person receiving care or you love someone receiving care, whether that's through public services like Family Care or Iris, or you're just privately paying on your own or through your long-term care insurance, till you are in one of those positions, you are not going to understand how dire it is. And so then it doesn't feel like it matters because you have your own problems, right? Like people have so many problems that are personal that they don't have the capability to give a lot to those other spaces.
Yeah.
And that is, we need to start changing the conversation about that and talk about it as this is an all of us problem.
Yep.
If you plan to age, this is an all of us problem. If you want to live a long time, this is an all of us problem. So, stuff like our project, I'm just so proud to be part of the solution. It's such a passion project after all my years of direct service to come as somebody who would have stayed in school as if that was a job. I would have done that as my job. I would have just kept getting degrees. That is not a job. Unfortunately, my husband reminds me, keep getting degrees. And I'm like, well, it's fine. I owe student loans till the end of my life anyway. So I might as well just keep put them in there.
Yep.
But it combines the two things I'm so passionate about. I'm so passionate about long-term care. I am so passionate about improving the experience for everyone involved. And I'm really passionate about education. I'm really passionate about the fact that education opens doors.
Oh, absolutely.
And caregivers don't have any idea, especially direct care workers. Some of them have never had any interaction with the university. And we want to also break down the barrier of them thinking it's inaccessible, because it's not. They are just as capable as a student who graduated from high school, didn't get their GED. They graduated from high school and went right into college. You're just as capable whether you have a GED, you have no high school diploma. It doesn't matter to me. This is accessible to you.
Yes.
And so that's been a very important piece of it as well.
Yeah, that's self-bettering. Like, you can take steps to better your situation.
Yeah.
It is the career path that needs to like meet you there, and that's what you're working toward, is so that you're treated as a professional once you get to that career path, and you are provided with a wage that's livable and benefits and all that.
So it's incentivized. So they get a bonus, right? I think it's $250 after you complete the course, and then another $250.
Yeah, let me talk about, we have three kind of bonuses that I think are pertinent in the population you're working with your clients. So if someone is certified and they are either already in a job, which is the majority of people that have been certified thus far, they're already working for somebody. They're a caregiver for a self-directed person, or they work at a facility. If they're already employed, they're able to get that $250 paid directly to them right away as after we verify employment. So they just say, hey, I work here, and UW Green Bay verifies that, so that we have because we have to be good stewards of taxpayer dollars and all those buzzwords and catchphrases, which we do. I want to be a good steward of taxpayer dollars. So I do think it's important to verify. So we verify that. If they remain in that same position for 6 months after that, so that's talking about that retention goal, another $250. And then on top of that, we have a referral bonus. So if I take the training, I'm certified, and I say, hey, you guys go take this training, put my name down, then I will get a referral bonus of $250 per person that completes the training and has used me as the referrer. And there's no cap on that bonus. And so what we've had is, you might have person A take it, or they work in a facility and the supervisor takes it, and then they do all the referring. And then they might combine that money often for like employee morale stuff.
That's awesome.
Because everybody's now trained. Now you have this bundle of money. Let's do luncheons, let's do gift cards, let's do whatever it is. And so it's been a really effective, I think the incentives are the secret sauce to why our program works. Because who wants to take 30 hours of training for a job you're already doing and get nothing for it? That's crazy. Right. They don't have people don't have time for that. No. And so the bonuses have been the key.
I love the fact that if you stay in the same position for 6 months, you get that $250, because the feedback that we get a lot from members is, if my caregivers go and take this course, then they're open to anybody else. And I'm like, that's valid. That is a valid concern. But that retention bonus to stay with you for 6 months, that's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. You're incentivizing them to stick around. So
absolutely. Absolutely. And I think too, our registry is, while public, you have to know who you're searching for.
Right. Yep.
So it's not, I know there was fear when we started that it would be like just an open list from both self-directed members and facilities and agencies. Like, you're just going to put a list of my employees out there that are certified and other people can see them and take them. No, that you have to know who you're searching for. And additionally, that's why we started that kind of like secret, super secret self-directed zip code search, is because that's a very real thing, that it's much easier for a larger employer to get an employee on board. So that doesn't give a fair playing field for self-directed members to try to find these certified employees. So it's been very successful. We're very excited about it. And we add new people to it every 2 weeks. So, because it's just rolling, people are certifying. We test 4 times a week. So Monday through Thursday, there are people getting certified and added.
Wow.
How has the employer side gone? Are you guys getting quite a bit of traction of people signing up as employers? Or is that the hard part right now?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
No, well, employers are much harder to engage than students,
Yes.
which was shocking to me.
Yep.
Probably shouldn't have been, but it was. So we're actually part of a pay for performance plan
Yep.
with DHS
Yep.
and the MCOs. And so that has upped our traffic because it's tied into the provider network. And we've had a huge increase in self-directed members signing up. So I'm certain that's partly your work. I know it's some of the MCO work we've seen with SDS members. But employers are, and this is an understandable perspective. However, I struggle to see the logic in it sometimes. Employers are skeptical of adding another training if it doesn't meet their full requirements for training.
Yep.
Right? That is very, very valid, which is why it's my ultimate goal that we do that. That we do break through those barriers of administrative codes and training requirements with DQA, and we can come to an agreement, even if that means we have to enhance part of our course. You know, we have to improve on pieces so it does meet those requirements. And so they're hesitant to engage with that, I think, because they already don't have enough time or resources to train on the things that do meet the requirements, right? And so additionally, because there's so much turnover, it's difficult for them, I think, to want to invest an additional 30 hours of training, even though it's free, even though it's self-paced, all of those things, when that person might leave. And so I think that is also part of their skepticism.
From like a facility standpoint, requiring the training means they also have to pay them wages. If it's a requirement.
100%, yeah.
So that I could see that being a pretty significant barrier.
Yeah. It is. Yep, absolutely. Yeah. And so I can tell you the places that have built it into their onboarding. It makes like, why wouldn't you just do that is my thought. Again, that's like where the logical piece to me seems like, even if you have to add in 1 or 2 more trainings, if you're getting all but 2 areas of your admin code met through this training, that's free. And you don't even have to sit with the person. You don't have to, they just have to have a computer at your facility or wherever they are.
Well, and it covers the
then why would you not do that?
They're going to pay eventually anyway, the continuing ed hours anyway. So
exactly.
I guess you get it back in the end, but I could understand like why the upfront expense is like, feels like more of a barrier than like piecemealing it together over the course of and you don't know how long they're going to stay. And as a past admin, I can't even tell you how many times you get someone through every hour of their CBRF training and they bolt the next day because all they really needed were the free trainings.
Yep, I know. And that's where, why wouldn't we have a universal training, right? Across all HCBS settings. It's portable. Like then nobody is losing, no employers and no setting type is losing out on the cost of training. Right?
And we have a better
training
chance
is
of being compliant.
Being supported statewide. I'm sorry, what?
Oh, I was just saying that we have a better chance of being compliant then too.
100%. Yeah.
Because it's universal.
And then if the training is supported statewide as a free training, okay. Then we know there's competency being given because it's been vetted. I don't know. It seems obviously things are simple, never easy though, right? You know, so it seems simple, but that most things when I think about legislation seem practical and simple to me. And it's like, I know better, but yeah, so we're slowly gaining traction. Conversations again, like this help tremendously for you to go back to anybody that you know and say, hey, you really should just be taking, I think, full advantage of the program. Why are you not taking advantage of it? In that sense, like this is beneficial. I understand providers being very gun shy with training especially after COVID. You know, like I get it. Everybody is still recovering. People in healthcare are recovering and are traumatized legitimately from that. I mean, people that weren't in healthcare are traumatized from the global trauma. So people that were on the front lines are very much dealing with the aftermath that we don't even we might not even fully understand in our lifetimes. You know, and so I get it. I totally get it. And that's where I think, again, breaking down silos like DQA and DHS and CDCP and MCOs and ICAs, we all need to be on the same page for training requirements and how we're going to get it. Because that's also just so much easier to track from like a government standpoint. I just feel like if it's just like one training, your surveyors have one space and if they're on there, they're good.
Yep. I couldn't agree more.
Yep.
Yeah.
On the self-direction point, we're hearing a lot of feedback from members like, it's just another thing to manage. It's just another thing to do. They're so concentrated on their cares. Like, I'm just worried about who's going to show up to do my cares this morning. I'm not worried about signing up for this registry. So there's some that no matter which way we spin it, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in another avenue. That's why we hire you. That's why you're here. And
hey, that's valid.
That's valid. It is valid because, I mean, if you think of traditional recruitment strategies, they're not built for self-direction. None of them.
Which is why handshake is difficult.
Because it's not built for that. One is built for self-direction. And that's fine. This is just a unique gem in this world. But that connection piece, right? And I'm just thinking anyone who doesn't have a support broker, IRIS consultants, case managers, family members, anyone that can go out and be like, hey, this is a resource for you. Take advantage of the resource, but not only for you, but for your staff as well. I think that's the piece that's missed when explaining this to people, that it's not only a resource for you for hiring in the future, it's a staff resource and a retention bonus. This is a bonus that we're not able to give them otherwise.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, when we talk about like having to pay to post a job, let's say as a self-directed person, having to pay to post on a certain job board, that the return on investment is very, very low. Why? Ours is free.
Yeah.
You know, you don't even have to have your employees go through the training. Simply by signing up just to have access to it, at least it's there as a free resource if something does happen.
Right.
And you do need to add another caregiver or replace a caregiver, and you know these people are certified. So I do think, and I think the bonuses too. That's a huge, if they stay for 6 months, it's $500. You don't have to worry about paying them, that they get just for showing up. You know, they're already going to be here doing the job. You might as well get $500 is a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
I mean, you can make a lot happen. I could make a lot happen with $500. And when we're not paying people enough, every dollar counts.
Yeah.
And so it's, you know, like, I just think they're like, when you have a meager self-directed budget already, you're trying to stretch to make sure your needs are met. Why are we paying for job postings? That seems, let's get that off the table, right?
Yep.
Let's get the low-hanging fruit and get rid of it. I also understand, you know, luxury is getting time back, and you give people time back with your job, right?
Yes.
You give them the time back that they would have to take to, our greatest commodity is our time. And so if they're able to retain some of that and reduce stress, I also think that's a really important option, because certain people need that. There are things that I pay for in my life that just give me more time that are not necessary. I could do them myself, but I don't want to. And I am lucky enough in some ways to not have to. So, I mean, we're already tired. Everybody's tired. We're already all just surviving our first time on earth.
Right.
So it's a lot to have to also do things that somebody else could maybe do for me. I get that.
That is the best shift ever, is time is the new luxury. That is my favorite shift of whatever.
Me too.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. It's not.
That's a post-COVID thing.
Yes.
That's a post-COVID. That's a COVID result. I really believe when people had time to sit and be with the people, they had no choice. We had no choice but to stop grinding.
The world slowed down.
Yeah. And it's good. Now we're like, oh, wait. That is not everyone, but so many people's priorities shifted. And suddenly where we are a society that puts what you do at the top, like for a job, now it's what do you do outside of your job that is your priority. And I think that's I am a work to live kind of girl, not a live to work. So I'm all in for a societal shift on how we spend our time.
It took me until this month. Well, to figure this out, because up until I work 7 days a week, it was a habit. I get up, I get my coffee, I grab my computer, I'm working away, and these guys, I'm sending them, emails on weekends, and they're responding. I'm like, why are they working? Like,
because we're all grinding out here.
What is going on? And then it was, I think 2 weekends ago, I got up and I'm like, I'm gonna have coffee on the deck this weekend. I'm not gonna grab my computer. I'm like, why haven't I done this all along? This is amazing. In 2 weekends in a row now, I have not touched my computer.
Good for you.
And you should not. You should not.
So it's
a habit. We can't do that.
Yeah, it's a habit. I mean, working in healthcare my entire career, you're working 7 days a week. You're grinding, and it's like, nope, I have to get this done, and there's just not enough time in the day. And then finally taking that one weekend, that's all it took, is I'm like, wow,
yeah,
this is what this feels like. Like, okay, now I get it.
Good for you. I know I am guilty too. I think that is just ingrained in us, depending on the type of work we do. I'm very strict about my staff not being on their computer on any time off. If you are paid to not be here, you are not touching anything that is here. This is not, I want you to come back feeling refreshed.
Yes.
But do I take meetings on vacation? Do I respond to emails? Yes. Yeah. I am not practicing what I preach.
Yeah.
Nope. I'm a hypocrite.
As well as I wish I did. But it is very important for me that my line staff is just as protected on their time off as they can be.
Yes.
Because that is how we prevent the burnout.
Yep.
I want you to come back and be like, oh, look, this is novel again because I enjoyed my time away from it.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm not as good at that either. I do wish I'm pretty good with valuing the time I have, but I do let my work bleed into my free time for sure.
Yeah, same.
It's hard not to.
It really is.
And if you like what you're doing
and
you're passionate about it, and I want to show up for the people that rely on me, it's probably like a recovering people pleaser issue.
Yeah.
It's my guess. Or maybe I'm not. I'm obviously not recovering.
You're telling yourself that though.
I know. I'm obviously not a recovering people pleaser yet, but I'm sure there's some deeper meaning for that. I'm certain that I'll explore at some point.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited. I have, even though I've been mentoring and educating people on this program, I've learned things from this conversation, so I can take that back to these conversations with our self-directed members who and just talk more about benefits and what that looks like. Yeah. But I love what you guys are doing. I love the program. And I'm curious to see where this goes.
Oh, I'm really excited about the data.
Yes.
I'm extremely excited about the data because I really think I'm hoping it'll help. Like paint a picture of the caregiver experience, that frontline experience, and hopefully we can start removing some of the barriers to the profession.
Mm-hmm. And treating them as professionals.
And treating them as, and paying them as such.
And paying them as such, yes. I think reimbursing them for the work they're doing at a level that is equal to what they're doing is paramount to success. Yep. And these are people that at least have remained in the field for 3 years, and they're still staying despite these barriers. So, and we'll have the data of how many people didn't recertify, right?
Yeah.
How many people, does that mean that it might not necessarily mean they're gone from the field, but one thing we want to do when we have a more robust set of this initial renewal data is take a look at those who didn't renew and do a separate survey to them to see what we can get back. Just if they're willing to tell us, did you leave the field? Were you not able? Was there no benefit? What has happened to you did you become disabled? Did you, what happened? Mm-hmm. Any of those things could have happened. So once we have a more robust version of this initial data, we'll go back again to those non-renewers to have a full picture of this is what is happening with people that chose to wait or stay in the field at least 3 years and still have these barriers, and what's happening to the non-renewers. These are people and how many of them left?
Yeah.
How many did we lose because of these things
that
are being reported? So it will be shared publicly when we're on our very first month of gathering, because these are our first renewals. So I think we only have like 75, but 75 people is 75 direct care workers giving us, there's like 50 questions or something like that on that survey. It's very robust. There's a lot of Likert scales so they can rate things. 75 direct care workers in Wisconsin is a lot of people to get a lot of demographic information from. So, and a lot of survey data from. So even if it still will be the most probably robust version of this demographic that we have.
Will there be feedback?
So I am thrilled.
Will there be feedback gathered on the onboarding process and the self-direction side?
We could gather feedback. we are currently kind of exploring options, like I said, for a different job board, which would like take handshake out of if that's possible. I don't know. We're in the very early stages. So I'm hoping that would eliminate what that feedback looks like. I think what's tough is we already know and agree that the onboarding process for self-direction, especially with handshake, it's not ideal. No. I have been, since about 6 months in when we started to get people signing up, it was like, okay, this works great for an agency or a facility. It is just not built for individual self-directed people. That's not there. Like you said, there isn't, it just isn't built that way as a larger platform. So how do we bring it down and we control what we want it to look like? So if we can't move forward with changing the direction we're going with job matching, I do have a plan to gather data because I'm going to use it to try to make a second ask to convince DHS that we can do a different one, and UWGB to convince our team that decides where our budget goes, that we should do it. But I don't even think we need it right now to make a good case that we need to do something different. So stay tuned on that. I've been working pretty diligently on project proposals and all of that because we agree, but we do have that, again, keep in mind that not a paywall, password protected. You don't have to pay for it. Cut that out of the podcast. You don't have to pay. No paywall.
We'll edit. Don't worry. We got
password protected self-direction website that they can search by zip code as well. So that is available immediately for people. So if they're not connected with that, but they are part of the CDCP program, otherwise I can just give you the password if that's easier. I can email that to you so you have it and you can share it with your members.
Very interesting.
Just shoot me an email. And if you have any questions when we're done too, and you want me to answer those, just shoot me an email and I can make sure that I follow up on anything that pops up.
I have some ideas. So I think you and I need to connect after this and brainstorm because I would love to pick your brains about what you'd like to see in a job matching platform. Or if you have already ideas written down because you're doing something, you already have your own. Yep.
I would love your input on what works best for self-directed people. And we're talking from a more robust way of like, they can post a job, they can message candidates. What is the easiest way you think that would look for? Because I think if we build it, we're going to have a decent amount of control over what it ends up looking like, right? We're not tapping into an existing platform that is just there. And the reality was, it was very cost effective. It is very cost effective because as a university, we have access to it.
Right.
And in the beginning, that was important to get our program up and running, but this is a living, breathing thing and it's evolving. So as we get more information, we'll continue to evolve. And DHS is exceptionally supportive as a partner. They have been remarkable. I truly think this is my best experience working with the DHS team in all of my career. And I have constantly been in some way next to DHS, whether it's adjacent or actually enmeshed with them in my job. So they have been remarkable and I'm so proud to do this with them. So I'm very hopeful that we will end up at a place that is like, as we evolve our program, it will just keep getting better and better.
Absolutely. Yep. That's what it's all about. It's taking what's not working and creating it into something that works. But
absolutely.
I think, we'll have conversations because I think we can figure this out.
Yeah, I would love to. I'd love to pull you into even with our DHS team. We'll arrange all of that together. But I would absolutely love to pick your brain because those are the people that we're making it for. It doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter how I want it to look if I'm not the main user that wants to do something with it. So I'm excited. I think it's going to be good. I think it's all going to be good. I love the evolution. We are lucky. I feel grateful that neither I nor anyone on my direct team has any ego attached to this. So all we want is whatever the best product looks like. And I'm so lucky to have the team I have because they share that feeling that I have is like, I don't care. There's no reflection of me if pieces are broken. There is simply, that's a process issue, not a person issue. So let's process. And my team has that same opinion. And so their ability to take feedback on anything is amazing. So please, I'll encourage members that you work with, please give us that feedback. It's the only way we know how to fix it. And we want it to be superb is what we want it to be the best in the country. And we are right now, but it's because we're one of the only ones. So we got to keep ourselves moving forward on that best in the country thing. And that takes feedback from people that are using it, because I know that we have a myopic vision from our side.
That's awesome.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
This has been very enlightening. Thank you. It's kind of been like a mystery program to me. Like I've only scratched the surface of understanding it. So I gained a lot today. Thank you.
Yeah. And if you have questions that come up, email me. If you're like, hey, I want to know how this works. And even if it's not me, I come from the ADRC world. So I'm come from the no wrong door world. So if it's not me, we'll figure out who it is. Or maybe I won't know and I'll tell you that. But normally I can figure out where it needs to go, or I am connected to somebody that can connect you to where you need to go. And there's no use having all this information in my head if it isn't shared. So all this weird niche, like long-term care and benefit information I have is only good in a very specific subset of circumstances. So I want to share it as often as I can. It's real focused on an area.
Well, we're like sponges. I just want to soak it all up. Yep. So I'm like, yes,
change the world.
Give me that knowledge. Give me that education. Give us that.
You and me both. Yep.
Wonderful.
Curiosity is the most important characteristic.
Yes.
I love that.
Well, thank you, Casey, for joining us. And we will stay in touch, and we will continue to educate and offer these resources to everybody and just spread awareness about it. So we're excited that you were able to join us today.
Thank you for taking the time.
Yes, thank you for being such great champions of this program. That's what we need, is people talking about it the way that you are and learning about it the way that you are. So I'm just so privileged to do this work and to do things like this on a smoky Friday morning, and get to talk about our shared passion for making things as good as they can be for the people we serve. So Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful weekend if you can. I don't know how much outside time you're going to get where you are, but are you in Appleton?
We're in Appleton, yeah. Well, I am.
Yeah, so I'm in Green Bay. Yeah, so it's bad.
It's bad. We're camping this weekend. I'm like, it's going to be rough if we end up staying the whole time because it's nasty out there.
Hopefully it moves
out.
I know.
I hope so. We need some wind in the right direction.
Yeah, don't know maybe a little more rain. Well, I don't know. I don't actually know anything about air quality. I'm just
me either. But the rain seems like it would wash it away.
It just comes and goes. I don't know where it comes from.
The rain get rid of it? I'm not sure.
Wash it all away.
I don't know anything about weather, but that's the optimist in me. Like, maybe the rain will do it.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yep. It's magic.
Thank you guys so much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate
you. Take care.
Bye,
all right,
Casey.
Bye.
I have a feeling that I knew where your brain went with that.
I know exactly where my brain went.
When you watch that back, you're going to see my eyes do this.
I know. I have a lot of ideas on that forefront, but we'll see where them conversations take us.
I actually did not know a decent amount of that. Because our initial meeting was with one of the MCOs, and I think they were a little, not confused about it, but I think it was very new to them as well.
It's new to everybody, and it's the one thing that I learned is that retention bonus. I knew they got $250 at the beginning, and then the $250 in 6 months. But I was missing the piece that they had to stay with the same employer for 6 months to get it.
Yep.
I love that.
I think that's amazing.
You have to incentivize that.
Yep.
Because retention is the one thing
that's scaring people.
But to get people to start, we need to onboard them faster. Right. I am seeing a little bit of a tweak in that. I'm seeing a little, I am seeing a little faster, which is great. And I think everyone's aware of that. Everyone is aware that this is a requirement that needs to happen. And everybody is open to conversation, which I'm excited for.
I still, of all the conversations that we've had on that topic, I still don't understand where the holdup is. I don't have a firm idea in the process that's broken that we need to fix. All I just know is that it's not working.
Yep.
But like where the breakdown's happening, I know the Medicaid ID number is definitely, but it was slow before it was required. It was already slow before that was a requirement. So where's the process breakdown? Like what's the requirement that's holding everything up?
So we're going to learn that we are starting this collaboration social hour with support brokers and fiscals. So excited. So I think that's something that everybody is on the same page as to where is that breakdown? What can we do better for the better benefit of our members? And I think it's just conversations. I think we just have to come together as teams. Mm-hmm. It's a we problem, not a you problem. It's a we problem. And how do we do better?
It's a systematic. Let's just we'll blame the government. We're just going to go ahead and blame the government.
We can blame them for everything.
Yeah, because it probably, whatever's holding it up, I have a very good suspicion it's a requirement of the government or the state that's holding something up. That's not the Medicaid idea because it was slow before that. And so I have a feeling that we can still blame them somewhere. So that's my guess. And yeah, I just kind of some of the situations that I've run into lately in homes, if we don't fix this, there's just not a chance that self-direction is ever going to be a professional career path because we are treating these people like they are dumb. How many more times can you say they're working on it? Are they though? I'm going to need some proof in writing. Are you processing this?
Can you handwrite me a note, please?
Yeah, because I feel so bad for some of these caregivers that I have to talk to. And some of it's been a little bit embarrassing. And it's not necessarily embarrassment on my hands, but it's just gosh, I'm really sorry this process, this thing that I sold you, the self-directed path that's going to be so fun for you and great for our member is also kind of burning you right now. So sorry about that.
We have to match the ability that a facility can do. I can walk into a facility, I can interview, I can get hired, I can be in orientation tomorrow, and we'll start working the floor the next day. Mm-hmm. Is self-direction ever going to get there? No. I don't know that day after day. Within a week.
But they're required to have a Medicaid ID number too now, right? On the facility side? I'm not sure. Is that just self-direction?
I honestly don't know.
I'd have to ask some of my old friends maybe, because that is going to slow things down because it does take time to apply for that and get it, and they have to trickle it downwards. But if they don't need it, we have to be able to match that within a week.
We have to match it. We have to match the attitude because we are selling them on self-direction is amazing. Self-direction is work-life balance. Self-direction is cutting out the agency. Self-direction is
control over your schedule.
Control, empowerment. But then it's hold on. Yay, you got hired, but hold on, it's going to be 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So it is systematic. I honestly believe that. And it's no one's intention, I don't think, for 3 weeks. It
just is what it is.
Just figuring out what it is. And how do we match that they can go anywhere and get hired faster and onboarded faster?
And that's not even just facility. They could go to Panda Express. They can go to Quick Trip. They can go to a facility or a foundry. And they can be onboarded and working and earning a paycheck within 3 to 4 days.
There's some of them that pay daily.
Yeah.
Panda, I drove by and the sign made me do a double take. $21 an hour.
I told you, that's why I always bring it up because just to be in a lobby attendant, so taking just orders, $21 starting.
Crazy.
I know.
You don't even have to care for somebody.
No. I'm you're in charge of Panda Express. You're not in charge of a whole living body.
A regional or a manager is $90,000. We're advertising. An assistant manager was $50,000.
Lord. And going back to our issue, our internal positions, that is a barrier on our internal, not just our external. Our internal, we also have to compete with that, and we are Medicaid funded. So
yes. Yes. I mean, me personally, I would pick caregiving over.
Oh gosh, yeah,
Panda. 100%.
I'd be miserable. This is my passion.
That's where we're pulling people in. We're pulling them on their passion, and they're in this world for a reason. They're not in this world because they have to be. They're in this world because they want to be.
Right.
So as this continues to evolve, it was so refreshing to hear she has the same insight as us as to treating people as professionals. If we need to respect people as professionals, and that goes to the caregivers because they are the core of self-direction. Yep. You have the self-directed members and you have the self-directed caregivers. You have to respect that. Mm-hmm. It's not top to bottom. They are the top. You ever hear them? It used to be a big one. I went through this training and it was take your organizational chart and flip it upside down.
I've heard, yeah.
Your caregivers should be the top that's your top priority,
Mhm.
because
You don't
without
have
your
a business
caregivers,
without
you
them.
have no business, right?
Mm-mm.
So we need to take everything, flip it upside down. It is the caregivers. Well, it's the members. It is the caregivers.
And then all your admin
And
staff.
then
I mean,
all your, everything that you're contracted with.
Yep.
Right? So what is that? Your IRIS or your MCOs and your fiscals and your support brokers and any other support staff that you have on your plan.
If people stop joining the field,
we're crumble. We're done.
And everyone who's collecting dollar. So like,
we have no job.
It's an economy.
Yes.
Like it's an economy just like any other. Like you have to take care of the people at the top. And I think a lot of it comes with attitude too. Caregiver is a skilled trade. Not everyone can do it or everyone would do it.
Yep.
It's emotionally taxing. It's physically taxing.
Yep.
And not every job is. Like, you don't have to see, like, some of my worst days have been watching people struggle. Like, it's hard to be face to face with the brutality of life.
Yep.
But we get to see it every single day in this career.
Every day, and how people have to do life because they're forced to do it because of lack of resources.
Yep. I think this all ties back into that documentary that I accidentally got myself into about the people in the UK who are choosing to do self-assisted suicide because they're losing their long-term family caregivers, like their parents pass away, and with the instability, they're just choosing government-assisted suicide.
We need to, I really want to deep dive more into this whole live-in caregiver, natural caregiving. Like, what sets you apart? Well, how are you? I know. I know. How do you determine who is a natural support and who is a paid support? How is that determined? And are we taking that into respect as well? Of somebody is doing this out of the kindness of their heart as a natural support, but that natural support isn't meant to be forever.
No.
That natural support is meant to be
fill in cracks.
Right. Not ongoing. That doesn't take away that's a supplement to your care.
Yep.
That's not a vital piece of your care.
Yeah.
And that has been a shift in perspective lately as well.
I think we have just a lot of situations to draw from, and I have personal experience. Like, it's just a lot of like when you have an adult age or a child age into adulthood, and but you're just still expected to parent forever, and on one, and they made me feel so crummy about it. Like, but he's never going to be without. There's not a single day that he will ever go without. But like, I wouldn't have signed up for long-term care if I could and wanted to fill in all of the gaps that he has. I don't possess, I have a full-time job.
Right.
I can't fill in all those gaps indefinitely, but that is an expectation, and it's somehow balanced into the big equation of how many hours they get of care per week. I don't know how that hits the algorithm, but that natural support does hit the algorithm at some point, but no one signed up for it.
Right.
Like, I didn't sign a contract saying that I'm agreeable to be a natural support. Right. I am a natural support. He's my baby. But
and I think if I'm a natural support to my children,
of course,
that don't have a disability.
Right.
Right.
But even you are no longer responsible for some of their behaviors after the fact.
Right. So, first we have to take care of what are the needs. Take the natural support out of the equation. What are the needs that you need for that day, right? What are the cares that you need? What are the services that you need? Fill them. And then that natural fills in as they are available to fill in, not expected to fill in.
Well, some of the examples that I can draw from, these are very elderly aged parents that probably physically should no longer be caring for
What is that one? Up to 90? Was she 90 that was still caring?
96.
96.
She was 96.
That's not a natural support at that point.
No, and that breaks my heart because, like, it's, kind of like, as a parent of a child with disabilities, one of your biggest fears is death. My death. Yeah. Because if I die, who is filling in all the gaps that I am currently filling right now?
Yes. I hear that so often.
And I'm sure that's exactly what her situation is. Well, I'm not allowed to die because she is still physically hands-on caring for someone.
Yep. I had a mom tell me once, and she said, I know this is going to sound horrible, but I really hope my child goes before me because I don't know what's going to happen after I go.
Oh, and probably that fear is because she knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Dang it, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I only have breakthrough on my kids. But yeah, that is, yeah, because you know what's going to happen. Yeah. In some of our clientele cases, they become wards of the state. Mm-hmm. And that's horrifying.
Yep. And then placed in residential.
Yep.
Not at home. And in this scenario, it'd be catastrophic. It really would. Taking him out of his home and going into a facility, like, catastrophic.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people, would be catastrophic going into a facility because facility care does not guarantee good. And really, there are just so few beds available to our population. Mm-hmm. Like, most of our population is not the frail elder. Nope. Most of our population is developmental intellectual disabilities, where they are not going to thrive in facility. No. And there's not a lot of beds available for developmental disabled that are not, where they're not going to get hurt in those facilities, because they're going to put them with a lot of people who have like high acuity mental health. And that is not always a safe combination when you have someone like with like level 2 autism, nonverbal, with someone who could have the propensity to become violent.
Yep. I did not realize. So on the IRIS side, we would assist with calling different adult family homes and seeing like, hey, they're looking for this place. And a lot of times the answer was no, or they're not set up with Medicaid to be able to accept them funds. Yep. They can't do personal cares because of the Medicaid. Yep. And
which was something newer to me. Like, at a facility, we were able to take IRIS, but I never understood the billing behind it. Yeah. They had to bill all the personal care time, so they couldn't just, a lot of them were moving toward a flat rate, where room and board and time and supervision were wrapped into one, and then they would split it. But with Medicaid, all the personal cares has to be billed to Medicaid, and then the MCO handled the rest. That was very nuanced to me.
Yep. And a lot of it is, are there any behaviors? If there's any tendency for behaviors or outbursts is what they like to call, then it was no.
I have outbursts.
I know. We all have temper tantrum. Yes. We all have outbursts, and we're allowed to. Yep. So it's funny because it's not a behavior for you. If you would be upset and you are venting.
It's only a behavior when someone writes it into an ISP.
Yes. It's taking out that institutionalized verbiage. They're not refused. They had a choice. They made a choice, right? They're not having a behavior. They're having a conversation at some point, or showing they can't have a conversation. So they're telling you they need something.
Yep. Well, they say that like violence or outbursts are the result of uncommunicated needs. Yep. And 100% that's what it is. Yep. Like at my house, because every kid in my household right now has autism. And when my little girls, especially when they're having meltdowns, like we just start rattling off the hierarchy of needs. Is she sick? Is she cold? Is she hot? More often than not, it is because she is hungry.
Yep. I have one like that. So I'm like, oh, you need to eat, girl. Yep. You need to.
Yep. Usually it's food. We also have no poop, no peace in our house. So if they have to poop, there's no peace. But like that, those are all reasons. Like, so if you look at an individual who's experiencing a meltdown, if you just start rattling through the hierarchy of need, they're communicating something.
Yeah. And also those that are, I call it my moments of weakness. I always have them. If I have something, I'm calling, and you're usually my vent. Like, I call you and I'm venting and I'm, oh my goodness, have you heard of this? And what is wrong with people? And oh my gosh. But then I'm fine. Yeah. But I'm not having a behavior. You know, are you documenting that I'm Cindy's having a behavior again today?
Like, mark it down.
Mark it down. This is the third day. But it's taking that verbiage and treating people as people and not as a ISP, not as a plan. and allowing people to make choices whether we agree with them or not. If it becomes a risk of safety to yourself and others, that's a different story.
Right.
But people are allowed to make choices.
I think that's very much lost in the disabled community in general. Whether you be in a wheelchair or have an intellectual disability, like that, forgetting that they still get the autonomy to make a choice in that moment, in that situation. And it might not always be the one that we choose for them, and it's uncomfortable for us, but it's not uncomfortable for them.
Yeah. I think most of the time you're just, even as a parent, like, oh, no, that's a bad choice. No, don't do it. You just want it. You're doing it out of protection. That's all you're doing. But sometimes allowing them to make that choice and have the consequence that goes with it, that's a teachable moment. Like, well, that's what happens.
That's your natural consequence. I remember when I worked in daycare 1.5 million years ago, that's when that verbiage was just coming into play, natural consequences. And I remember these little kids be like, well, that's a natural consequence. I wonder if they're better off for it now or not. Probably not.
There's times where I'm like, well, let's see how this goes. I'm just going to roll with it. I got really good at rolling with it because you can't stop everything. You can't prevent it. And sometimes that natural consequence is enough to be like, ooh, I'm not going to do that again. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, but that's their life.
Well,
that's
sometimes
not
growth
ours.
happens in the darkest places. I mean, I think we've all been there, one way, shape, or another. Dark times equal growth.
They do. It's like that saying, you cannot grow in comfort. You have to be uncomfortable. So if you want to grow, you need to learn to be uncomfortable.
And life is uncomfortable. So figure it out.
It is.
Just keep pushing forward. I wish that I could fix more of the things in front of me right now, but I can't.
One day at a time.
Yeah, one person, one member at a time, one situation. It's all we can do. But we get to see the most brutal situations in this field.
Yes.
And none of it's fair, and none of it is fixable at our pay grade.
No,
it is so much higher than this.
It is. No, we can be a voice, and that's what I've learned is whether people listen or not, we can still be a voice. We can be a voice to put out there as to the experiences, the lived experiences, because now we do have that lived experience as to what is going on in the industry. What are we seeing? What is our opinion that can be better? How can we evolve? And then everybody coming together. And as we learned, it's not just us coming together. It's now it has to be presented to a higher force of
understanding and power. And
how do you, like, what are them keywords? Because is it the stories? Is it the real lived stories? Is it pulling at heartstrings? Is it just, how do they want this information that is going to make sense to them, not necessarily make sense to us?
I just have a hard time believing that you can look at numerical data in this situation and have enough information to make change. And it's probably why the change isn't happening, because I think the actual change happens in watching someone sleep in their wheelchair because no one showed up to transfer them to bed, or watching someone fall out of their wheelchair trying to transfer themselves into bed because their caregiver didn't show up, or having a homeless person in a wheelchair with no resources because homeless shelters can't take people in wheelchairs.
That blows my mind. That absolutely blows my mind. I'm sure there's a shelter out there. I haven't come across one yet, but a lot of my answers have been no. If they're in a
especially
wheelchair.
if they have any care needs.
Nope, we won't. And that's your most vulnerable population.
And they're out there. I mean, literally, there's been several of them have walked past this window. It's like, good God. But I think that's what needs to be visualized. Like, I feel like those real life stories need to be seen. Or how many people have we sat in front of who haven't had shower in weeks? We have a member who hasn't had running water on their body in over a year. I had a client that from the time of disability to the time she returned home from said injury, she actually never had running water over. She had bedside baths that entire time. So that was over 17 years.
And at that point, like, what else can happen? We had somebody who they could not, it wasn't here. It was at a place that I worked. they could not access their bathroom. Story, huh?
Mhm.
Right? We've heard this a time or two. They could not get into their bathroom. They could not get into their shower. So finally, as a team, it took a team effort for us all to come together and be like, can they go to the Y? Like, can the caregiver take them to the Y so they can at least get a basic need met, which is a shower? Because if you were in their shoes, would you go a year without a shower? No. So why are we allowing them to go a year without a shower when there are resources available and all you have to do is pay for a cab or pay for transportation to get them there?
Fight that battle.
We're one thing at a time. So maybe from what I'm hearing, instead of saying what success stories look like,
no, we need the tough stuff, the stuff that we're seeing. Like that is what needs to, because that's what lights my fire.
Yeah. So is that what they're going to listen to versus success stories? Oh, self-direction is successful because of this. No, this is what we need to evolve self-direction so we can prevent somebody sleeping in a wheelchair.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And, you know, the solution cannot be more facility or more institutionalized care, because then we're just gonna screw with ratios and say, oh, one person with one CNA can manage an entire wing of an institute, because that will happen. That will 100% happen, and then they're still not getting a shower.
We've been there. We lived it.
Yeah, they're still not getting a shower.
How many times I've walked into the nursing home as a young CNA and like, oh, so-and-so's not going to be here today, so you're doing wing A and B tonight.
Yeah, you're passing meds on 3 floors tonight. Oh,
okay. Got it.
Yep.
So unless you're going to hold that ratio accountable and be like, all right, you need to have, one caregiver per
10 people,
10 members, right? To ensure proper care. Because I'm having flashbacks going back. It's call lights constantly. You're in with somebody. It's almost like an assembly line.
It is. Well, on the overnights, changing briefs, it is. By the time you get through the entire wing for an every 2-hour check, you turn around and do it all over again. Yeah. And I don't know, if you've never changed an elderly person's brief, you do not know the back strain associated with that process. Mm-hmm. Oh my word.
Yep.
It is not, these are not, just like babies are not, tiny adults. Adults are not babies.
No.
They weigh adult weights. And some of those men, rolling them from side to side, oh my goodness. And you get a combative one in there.
Well, you're waking them up in the middle of the night. I mean, doing an intimate care, I would be like...
I'd be kicking and screaming too.
Oh, absolutely. Get out of my face and get out of here. And
yeah, it's just... But yeah, that's just that. So it's not the solution either. I think it really is evolving what people want, which is to stay in their homes, which they should be allowed to do. Yep. And then don't even get me started on then having access to housing.
Oh my... Yeah, that's a whole nother... That's a whole nother story.
For this income restricted population. They're never going to make more. They have what they have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's ghetto mentality. Like we're going to put all the people in one socioeconomical category into one geographical location and then not call it, a ghetto mentality.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, we have a lot to unravel here.
Today was good.
I'm excited. So I think next week, I don't remember off the top of my head because it's been we have a guest next week. So
I can't remember.
I've been working on it all week, and of course my memory's gonna slip, but we'll figure it out. We have a guest again next week, and then again the following week. And we're just going to keep plugging away at different resources and unraveling more and more. And I'm excited to see where these conversations take us, because the more people we meet, the more people that join us, we're all in it for the right reasons. And we're all trying to accomplish the same outcome. It's coming together to figure that out.
And do it together.
Yep.
Yeah, and like she said, no ego attached.
Yes.
I love that. There is no ego attached.
No.
Let's just get it done.
Yes.
I don't care who has to do it.
Yep.
I'll get my hands dirty.
Yep.
Throw me in, coach.
Yep. I love it. All right. Well,
another week.
Here we go.
Yep.